right. Hello, everybody. It's Eric from Farpoint Farms here in the beautiful mountains of North Carolina. Got the window open behind me. There's a nice cool breeze flowing here in the mountains, and it's been hot for like the last 2 weeks. So today, having that nice 70-degree weather has been so nice, so nice. So we've already been talking, haven't we? Man, it's funny. We've been chatting. I got here about 3 minutes ago, making sure that the feed was working properly, and I already had some chats. And look at that. We've been talking about compact cars and coffee, which is an interesting thing they have up here. But I was saying I don't go to it too often. Been to one or two of them. I've been to some car shows. Mostly when I go to a car show, it's for a particular type of car. Volkswagens. I love air cooled. I love buses. Love obviously the Volkswagen water cooled, like Mark One type water cooled stuff. And even then, as far as the water cooled stuff, I like rabbits, but I like 75 to 80 model rabbits. That's even the weirder part of my life, I guess. But somebody was asking, let's see where I saw it about the Rampage. Yeah, Tom's asking about the Dodge Rampage. Bucket list item car, my friend. I'm actually actively looking for either a Plymouth Scamp or a Rampage at any given time. Never owned a Dodge Omni or a Horizon or a Turismo or a TC3 or any of those cars, but they've always been on my radar. I love Econo boxes, and so always cool to keep an eye out for that. I've come across a few that were rust free, but never pulled the trigger. In fact, the closest I came was about a year and a half ago. I went down to look at a bunch of air cooled Beetles that were all going to the junkyard. The guy ended up having like 60 cars out on a big field. He had several Turismos and two. He had a Plymouth Scamp and a Dodge Rampage. Both of them were super clean, not running, but both of them were automatics. And I was like, nah. And I don't. I'm not bashing automatics. I'll drive one, but for a Rampage, I think I would like to have an automatic, or I mean a stick shift for that. And what was cool was that I got to sit in one, kind of sit in it. Bigger on the inside than a Rabbit truck for sure, but still good stuff. Hey, Mower Junkie, how you doing, man? Mower Junkie, good that you stopped by tonight. I've got a video that I haven't even edited yet, man. But you are going to like tears will roll out of your eyes. You will be so envious of this. Um, I went to this place actually in the county, and it is a like vintage tractor show, and I'm thinking it's gonna be like big tractors, man, like big John Deere's and stuff. But dude, I've got video and pictures. There were so many Sears SS16s, SS12s. There were a lot of like early, garden tractors. Now there were a lot of Cub Cadets, a lot of like early John Deere, but like garden tractor size, man. I would say 80% of the stuff there was garden tractors. So you would have loved it. And I'll tell you what, the next year when it comes around, I got all the info on it. I will definitely let you know about it because it's worth coming up for, especially if it's good weather. And it was. I mean, it's like $5 to get in. The problem is, and your wife may not want you to come up here because it would be very easy to get a trailer and load it up, man. You know what I mean? So I've got to put it all together. It'll take a couple weeks for me to edit it all in, and we're going to narrate it. But my wife and I did it, and I'm telling you, man, you'd love it. And then I ran into some people that I knew, which was cool. And I almost bought one. There was a guy that had a dual axle trailer with 4 Cub Cadets, and he was offering them for a heck of a deal, and they were all complete. But my wife was there, and sometimes we need our wives around to stop us from wasting massive amounts of money. So, but good to see you in here, Mower Junkie. Dallas Ripe, always good to see you, buddy. Bert, actually, Mower Junkie. One more thing before I move on. I never really have had a chance to play on radio as much this last week, but I was out there. I think it was either Friday or Saturday morning. And I couldn't hear you because you know how it is, South Carolina, North Carolina. I think we're in that spot where it takes some pretty special skip for us to talk. But I was hearing a bunch of people up north and a lot of young kids calling out 151, man. So you were definitely on there. I couldn't hear you, but I could hear the other half of that. So let's see here. Artem saying hi. I hope you're well. Love from Knoxville. Good for you, brother. I'm glad to have you in here. Warren Scott's in here. Joe R's here. Everyone can relax. Joe's here. Patrick saying, how's my back doing? My back is probably as good as it's going to get. Still lets me know that it's not well when I try doing something stupid, or actually, I won't say stupid, but even normal. But I'm able to do most stuff. To be honest, it's taking a lot longer than it should, so I'm going to be going back to the doctor here and seeing what's going on there. But I'm able to do stuff. We did raised beds around the house, and we still have the critters, so I'm able to help out and do a lot of that work now. And I'm able to mow, which the first like month and a half of summer, the grass was probably that tall, so we just let it go. But it's it is what it is. But I appreciate you asking about that. Um, Jonathan says the evil twin brothers. Let's see. If I buy an older or high mileage car, it will be a Honda, Toyota, and VW, and it'll definitely be a manual. Yeah, you can't go wrong with a manual. Um, NC Long wants to know, am I going to be in the Ham Fest in Sevierville next month? I had no idea there was one in Sevierville, my friend, so I'm not sure. I am going to do everything in my power to go to the Shelby Ham Fest, which is a couple weeks from now. I'm not going to make it to the big one down in Alabama, unfortunately, so I'm sorry. Oh, Mower Junkie, no kidding. You guys got live contact between Dallas. That's awesome, man. And it's amazing how contact works, man. But I'm in that fishbowl, so all the time I always get better signals up north, a little bit out west, but hardly ever down south, and that's crazy. Like, because Florida's, you always hearing where I used to live. I was always hearing Florida channels, but let's see here, man. Andrew the Star fam saying, waiting to see more on your radio station and transmitters. I'm working on stuff. Oh my gosh, I have my. So I woke up way early, and my poor wife wanted to sleep in. So I've been editing videos. I think I've got like 65 videos sitting in the queue, and there's a lot of cool stuff in there. A lot of shortwave related stuff, a lot of transmitting on weird frequency related stuff, a lot of antenna reviews, a couple radio reviews, and stuff that I picked up at Hamfest. I was at a Hamfest last weekend, 2 weekends ago. I can't remember, so I'll have to figure that out. Get a cheap Cherokee, they will. Yeah, as long as it's an inline four. Just don't get the newer stuff. Thomas is asking, I should have had a VW thing. Yeah, those are awesome. I've had a lot of Beetles. By the time I got into the idea of owning a thing, they had already started to go way crazy in price. So a lot of people today and yesterday, when I put out the latest video, they're asking about FMCB, and I'll get into that in a little bit. But I have a reason why I didn't put a video out this weekend on that, and I'll get into that right now. And the reason I hadn't put a video out is this: there are already a couple guys and gals that have put out videos on FM coming to the Citizens Band, and I kind of feel like there's this unwritten rule. I don't want to step on toes. 741 made a great video covering it. In fact, that's how I found out about it. I hadn't read about this CD. I was about to say the FCC, and so let it run its course. I have an opinion on it. It's interesting, and I'll let y'all know next weekend on that. But it's it is what it is. I'm not bouncing for joy, and I'm not depressed. I'm just kind of ambivalent, I guess is what you could say. Let's see, Dallas Rife saying, what's the flooded bridge in the pics? That's the bridge that gets to my house, man. And a couple times a year we'll get a massive flood, and there ain't no way to the house or any way out of the house. So that's a picture, and I kind of put it up tonight as a reminder that, kind of like yesterday's video, stuff like that happens, man. You got to be prepared. So there you go. By the way, my wife figured out how much I've spent on radios in the last month. I'll be sleeping in your barn. Yeah. If some of the pictures you've been showing me, man, I kind of might side with her on that. It's hard to keep up with that. You got a lot of cool stuff. Let's see here. I'm gonna move down to the bottom. I've already got a lot of people asking questions. I can't keep up with it. Let's see. Every day doing truck stops. Yeah, truck stops still have CB radios. Yeah, Spanx asking about, do truck stops still have radios? Yeah. Maybe not the best price, but yeah, they do. And a lot of times they'll have export and regular radios. So there you go. NC Long saying, thanks for telling me about Shelby. It's closer to me. Yeah, and I know I talked to Dallas about going to that one. Shelby Fest I've been to it before. Massive. I mean, huge. Huge, like 5 buildings of, commercial sales and an entire fairgrounds worth of the boneyard, as they call it. So worth the drive. It's about 2.5 hours for me, and yeah, unless something comes up, which unfortunately, guys and gals, sometimes stuff comes up. I've got elderly parents, and I've spent a lot of my summer traveling to look after them. So there's always something could come up, and that's the reason I probably or I most definitely won't be going to the Alabama get together. But that's the way it is. Wife loves to sleep in. Yeah, mine too. Jeff, how you doing, man? Good from New York. Joe R. in line 6. Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know what I even said. Hey, Eric D. How's it going, man? Let's see. My audio's kind of low. Yeah, I could sit closer. Hopefully that'll help. I don't know. Let me see. I'll try to move the camera a little bit. I don't have the other mic hooked up. Maybe I should do that. Yeah, you guys want me to do that? Hold on a second. I think I can do that anyway. I hope I can do that anyway. Give me 1 second. There we go. All right. All right, y'all tell me, does that sound better? Hopefully that sounds better. Hey, Mower Junkie, you gonna go to Shelby? Awesome, man. Well, cool. We'll all go and have some lunch together or something, man. That's awesome. I'm looking forward to finally getting to shake your hand, man. It's been fun, and I think I've said this to you before, and I know I said it to 741, and I'll say it to a lot of you out there that make videos and have great channels. A lot of times I watch your videos on the TV set. I have a Roku. So when I'll get home from work or I'll be coming in from outside and I'll sit down. I hate sitting in front of a computer, to be honest with you. So I'll come inside and I'll watch your stuff on there. So I hardly ever get a chance to comment, but I hope you all know that I can give the thumbs up through Roku, and I always do, and I always enjoy the content that you guys put out. So there you go. Let's see here. Do I like the Randy? Yeah, buddy. President Randy is awesome, man. I actually took it with me a couple weekends ago. My wife and I went somewhere, and I took it with me because she was going to go back to the car, and I was like, well, I got it with me if you need me, because I think it was a flea market. Yeah, we went to the Tri-Cities Flea Market, and she got bored. Imagine that. So she went back to the car, and I went back to look at one or two items, and so she was sitting in the car with the AC on, had the radio on in there, the little Midland that I have inside the Mirage, and I had the Randy on me, and it worked great. So Thompson said you got a fresh haircut. I actually got a haircut like about an hour ago when we got done for the day. My wife gave me a haircut on the porch. She's been cutting my hair since the day we met. She hates it. She's always hated it. She says, I don't know how to cut hair, but feels like works pretty good to me. And the price is right. Oh no, man, it was fine before. Now it sounds like a tinny. Oh man, see guys, there you go. Can't win. All right, how about that? I moved it closer. That's about the best I can do for you guys. Let's see. Dallas saying planning on coming to Shelby as well. Good. Look at that, man. We'll have a big old get together. Andrew the Star, do you have much trouble with bears? Yes, I do. And there's nothing I do. I mean, it is what it is. Wildlife's a part of living on out in the country. We get a couple times a year, they'll just, they'll come up on the porch. One time they ripped the porch apart. I don't know why they did that. I think maybe there was just fat, and the porch was kind of suffering from ageism, so it ripped some of the paneling off of the porch while they were trying to get to the trash cans. Most of the time they come up and they'll just pop open the trash can and they'll have a fit, and then they go on. They'll leave. If you open the door and yell at them, they usually haul. Occasionally they don't. Most of the time they do. We did have a couple years ago a real big problem with them killing chickens, where they were hopping the fence, or actually they literally tore the fence apart, which was pretty wild. But we took care of that one, and I didn't have to kill them or do anything stupid like that. Although I thought about it, we just added a single wire of electric around it, and ta-da, that was it. He come by to eat what was left of our chickens, touched that wire, and he never come around again. And we had neighbors down the road that had chickens, and he had killed a couple of theirs as well. So we let him know that's what worked for us, and who knows. So let's see. Stephen Payton saying, Eric, love the Farpoint Farms channel and the stuff you talk about, especially with CB radio and shortwave radio. God bless you and your family from Pennsylvania. Well, thank you, man, Stephen. That's awesome to hear. My channel is, and I think Mower Junkie, when I talked about it briefly when he said he started a second channel, I don't know how many times I have been told that I should split the channel into threes, and how many times I've thought about, doing that, and I just never do it. I mean, it is so hard to keep up with one channel. that the idea of uploading content to 3 different channels for the 3 or 4 different items I want to talk about just seems like such a pain in the you-know-what. And I'm not in this to, become filthy rich or something. So I think I'm just going to keep it the way it is. Most people have come to terms with my channel having, I talk about radio stuff a lot, but I also talk about, other stuff a lot. In normal years, I do a lot of stuff with tractors and lawnmowers and stuff like that. This year with my back problem, didn't do a bunch. But next year I will be. And, I bought those 3 mowers over the winter. And so they're just still sitting out there. So I can't wait to play with those. And so that'll be coming back again. So, that's it. That's pretty much what I'm up to. Other stuff that I do, the cooking stuff has always been kind of just for fun. Some people love it. Some people hate it. My wife joining the channel has been kind of fun. We were going to do more off-grid type stuff or like, preparedness or homesteading type stuff. But again, with back problems, I got scaled back a little bit. But I've done a lot. I've filmed a lot. It's just a matter of editing, man. So there you go. Spank Monkeys or they're monkeys. I'm debating putting a 102 whip on a mag mount on my Civic. So that's a lot of wind drag for a mag mount. It can be done, but I think you got to get like a 4 magnets. And so that's something you want to just think about. But certainly a 102 is the best, right? John's asking about the hornet's nest. Yes, it is. So yeah, oh gosh, see, talking about like putting up weird videos, dude, that was hilarious. I do not know how I'm not dead, or how I didn't get like destroyed by those guys because they were so ticked, man. But I emptied like it had to be 400 or 500 rounds of BBs into that nest. They were so ticked off, but had no idea where it was coming from. And I could have been 20 feet by the end of that video away from them. So I got tired of it, plus the CO2s were about empty, so I went back up to the house, had something to drink, I came back down there, and I put a single 12-gauge round right through it, and it evaporated. It's amazing. It turned into confetti, and there wasn't a single one left to argue with me about it, so that was it. So there's the problem. No more. They haven't been harassing anybody because they're just not around to harass anybody, man. So let's see here. Robert Hansen says, I like watching all your videos. I think the CB radio ones are good. I like the one where you talked about a little AM transmitter and broadcasting Art Bell shows from the past. Yeah, man, I still do that. I've got a whole series on what I call community radio or Part 15 radio. Some people it agitates, especially certain class of hams, it agitates because they feel like what I'm doing is not by the book. But I do try very hard to keep it by the book. And any recommendations I've given off of starting your own station, I also try to recommend people stay by the book. But I love it. And speaking of, broadcasting, I think I'm going to look into maybe paying to do a show on one of the shortwave stations, 5950, I think it is, down in Miami. They also broadcast into Tennessee. But, I mean, it's a worldwide signal. You can buy slots on there, and one of the slots opened up that we've been looking for a couple of years. So might do an hour show on that or a 30-minute show. I've just reached out to them on that. We're going to get some pricing and figure out what we're going to do there. Thompson saying, yeah, having more than one channel is a full-time job. Dude, yeah, it's like crazy, man. Yeah, Jonathan McKay saying I aren't LTT. I don't know who LTT is, but yeah, I don't know. But here's the thing. And so for those of you who don't understand, and I know Mower Junkie and I spoke about it briefly, like the way that the algorithm works for YouTube is it pushes content based on like your most popular videos. So back in the day, my most popular videos were nearly always tractor videos, and CB radio stuff was secondary. And so it would push a lot of CB content to people that watch tractor videos, and they didn't want to watch it. So the algorithm says, oh, people don't like what he's putting out, and they'd stop recommending my videos to people, which is a problem that continues to this day. But, again, like if you're not interested in making it a full-time job, just so what? So some days I have great days, some days I don't. You see my videos. I'll have videos that get 10,000 views and videos that get 500 views, but it is what it is. There's always the steady climb, and my channel numbers continue to climb, so I'm happy. It is what it is. Now, if I lost my, part-time job in town or whatever, and my wife lost her job, and suddenly we had to focus on the channel, then maybe I'd consider splitting it and trying to do it as a full-time thing. But yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. I've got too much stuff going on. Yeah, Andrew's saying he loves it the way it is. Good mix. And that's what I think. I think that YouTube's algorithm doesn't understand that what a channel should be is a TV station, man. It's a little of everything, you know? That's the way it ought to be. Yeah, maybe you don't like what's on at 9 o'clock. Maybe you like what's on at 10. So there you go. Yeah, Jeff Clyburn, you're right. The ultimate hornet spray. 9mm Airman missed the last 4 streams, but he made it. Finally here. Yeah, Eric D, Big 10-4 on the audio. Good. I'm glad it's working now. I've got the microphone like 6 inches from my face. Patrick saying that was cool watching the video on the wasp. Glad you're okay. Yeah, I just figured I was going to get nailed, but I thought it would still make for a funny video, so I did it. I'm very pleased I didn't, because I hate getting stung like everybody else, man. Frankie wants to know what's up with the reviews on the Stogies. Well, buddy, as for a partnership in town, they asked me no longer to promote tobacco products, and so I have agreed to do so. That is what happened to those. They are still around. I think they're on my BitChute channel, although I haven't updated that in ages, if you want to go back on the old ones. And I also don't smoke as much as I used to. I still smoke a cigar every now and again. But I would say in the last 12 months, a lot less than in the years previous. And I don't know why that is. Maybe it's just part of getting old. Who knows? Hey, man. Reginald's all the way from Dublin, Ireland. Good to have you in here, man. You're always a good fan. Jonathan saying LTS is Linus Tech Tips. Gotcha. Yeah, I've seen that guy. In fact, when I built the computer that I'm talking on here, I watched some of his videos. It was right when AMD came out with the Ryzen, and that was the first time in a long time that AMD was slapping Intel's butt around the table. It had been a long time, so I was happy to give AMD the money, and I built a nice system here. And I don't know how many years it's been, 5 or 6 years. It still works great, good for editing. And I moved up to 4K video, which chews up a lot of like computing power, and it still works, man. So there you go. Thompson saying he likes this live streams in the community. Yeah, well, right on, brother. Lawnmower Man saying glad to see you smiling. Yeah, man, I'm having a good old evening. Those wasps with the Borg, they were ignoring the attack and focusing on repairing the hive. You're right. They would come out and they were like, what's with all these holes? Now, I think what happened somewhere in there, I think I might have wasted the queen and didn't even realize it with all that, the hail of fire that was going in there. So, but I know this, man. Woo! Bam. That 12 gauge took care of it. So anyway, there you go. I would love to comment, but there is a person who just commented something about cigars, and you're not going to believe this, bro, but it actually hid your comment on my end. It says it's I mean, it's amazing, man. So anyway, you can just figure out what you were talking about and how absolutely non-controversial it was. But that's the world we're living in, man. William, you have a well-rounded channel. Well, thanks, brother. Thank you. So anyway, let's talk about the future. Here's some videos that are coming up, since I've got like 60 million of them in the queue. So I finally finished just today editing a video that I filmed when I was out by Dallas's part of the world, of a place called Grumpy's, which is like this. It's like a junk store, but they also sold classic cars. It was so cool. I mean, so cool. So we filmed all this stuff inside of there, and this was at the height of the where you had to wear your masks and all that, or you're supposed to anyway. We really didn't, but so like it's this great stuff, and it was kind of a trip down memory lane just watching it. So I hope you'll enjoy that, and if you ever get down that area, man, holy cow, you got to check that place out. And I bought some stuff. Heck, they even had CBs and shortwaves and stuff like that, so that was cool. Let's see, what else have I filmed here recently? A lot of shortwave stuff. So one of the companies, Redicus, sent me another one to review, and so I'll be doing a review on that. It's got digital signal processing, so a bit of a different angle on that. That's kind of cool. I've got part 2 and eventually part 3. I don't know, man. Dallas is asking where Grumpy's is. I don't know. It was right off the highway headed to that one in Alabama, I think I went to, but I don't remember. Yeah, I don't know. So part 2 of the DX394, which is an awesome shortwave radio. Looking on eBay this week, though, man, they're priced way too much currently. For about 100 to 125, they're an awesome radio. I'm not going to go out and rush out and tell you to buy one at 250, but a beautiful shortwave radio with sideband and all the rest, and I've been doing a lot with it. I've got a 1-year review of the MLA 30 shortwave active loop antenna, which has worked great. I've got a 1-year review on the Tram 1411, I think it is, scanner and CB antenna, which has also worked really well. I've got a couple scanners that I've picked up that I've been playing with. CB wise, a bunch. I mean, there must be 30 CBs that have come and gone through this place in the last couple months. So, lots of radio related content outside of the radio stuff. I do have a couple of yard implements, that kind of stuff to do, videos that I'm working on, and a lot of stuff on solar. So today I was going to put up a whole video on the cheapest solar, backup system that you can put in. I built one, a 100-watt system that costs less than $100, and I'm talking inverter, battery, solar charge controller, and panel, which is, I think, a pretty darn good deal, and also a really good way for people to, stay up and running in the event of a catastrophe. But yesterday's video did so well, I figured I'd just let it roll. It's also kind of a, prepper or, just keeping yourself safe kind of video. So I'm just going to let that go for this week. And on Wednesday, I'll do a review, and maybe next Saturday I'll do the CB-FM and the other one there. So that's what's coming up there. I've got a couple car videos. In fact, my wife is currently outside filming a 6-month follow-up video. She got about 6,000 miles on her Mirage, so she's doing a woman's perspective on the Mitsubishi Mirage. So hopefully we'll be able to edit that together and play with it. So there you go. We got a bunch, and there's like 30 that I've forgotten. A couple of computer upgrade videos, which I don't get into very often, but they're not like power upgrades. They're upgrades like, hey, how do you keep a cheap computer running, or how do you buy an inexpensive computer and use it for a specific task. I've done ones on building websites, the BBS, the radio station, kind of a continuation of that. So there's some other stuff coming back. Joe R. is asking, a while back, he said you were coming to Connecticut. Did you make it up this way? I sure did, brother. I went down to Georgia to visit my father, who's elderly and needed some help. Then I drove right from there all the way to Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, met my wife for a weekend in Gettysburg and filmed some videos there. And then I went all the way up to Massachusetts and went to the battleship Massachusetts, filmed there. And then I came back down. I went to the oldest amusement park in the country, Lake Compounce in Connecticut, and went to a couple of cool hot dog joints there, and then kind of, meandered my way home. Slept in the Volvo the entire time, and I've got some videos on, how I camped out in the Volvo. So yeah, there's a whole set of that. It's like funny, I've filmed so much, but it's so hard to edit it all together and get it up. So yep, that's all coming up too. But yeah, I did all that stuff. Jeff saying you gotta love a place called Grumpy's, no doubt, right? I mean, just for the name alone, it was like I gotta stop here. It was right off the highway. In fact, we saw it from the highway on the way to the Hamfest. Stopped on the way. Andrew saying any new Midland radios coming up? Not that I'm aware of, no. And I haven't heard from them in a while. They sent me a bunch of GMRS stuff last year, which I've reviewed, and great company, great people. I bought the Midland 75-822 and installed it in the Mirage. Great radio. Been happy with it. Would change maybe one or two things, but been happy with that. And then suddenly, I guess maybe they have a new person in charge over there. I don't know. Jonathan's asking, how is the XT511 base camp holding up? And when is part 2 coming? I didn't know I was making a part 2 on that one. Maybe a range test. What was I going to do on that? I can't even remember. I, matter of fact, held it in my hands today. We were using it. I use those FRS radios that I put out a few weeks ago. Then use that to communicate with the house when I'm down working. In this case, I was shoveling chicken love, or whatever you want to call it. Man, I'll tell you what, I can't say the word sense or working overtime. Eric D, they just decided that your your comment about a Volkswagen was inappropriate. Amazing. Boom, let's see. You sank my battleship. That's right. Hot dogs, a 2-footer. Yeah, well, dude, I had like so many hot dogs. I ate at a place called Capital Lunch in New Britain, Connecticut. I ate at in New Haven, which, by the way, I would never recommend anybody step foot in New Haven. Sorry if you're from that area, but that place was very sketch. I ate at, God, what was the name of it? It was where the hamburger was born, and there were 2 hot dog joints that I ate there as well, because I do love a good hot dog. I love the chili. I ate at a place in Fairfield County, a couple of them actually. I went to Fairfield and went to the ocean, the beach there in Fairfield, and yeah, it was a really cool trip, man. I had a good time. I had to do it myself, and I slept in the car every night but one. I needed a shower. So, hey, Joe, Lake Compound's 30 minutes from you. Right on, brother. Okay, so you've probably had, what was it, Capital Lunch in New Britain. Because that was, I think I made it from, I had lunch at Capital Lunch, and then I went over to Lake Compounds and went and swam in the wave pool over there in the lake. Took the little train around the lake. I mean, it was a really cool place, man. So, let's see here. Oh, 9mm AR is stuck living in Massachusetts, huh? Well, the Battleship is cool, although it was really rusty compared to the North Carolina. So, but I enjoyed it. In fact, I got there first thing in the morning. I was the only person on the ship for the first 45 minutes, and they told me, they were like, like people don't show up till like 11 or 12. So I was all by myself, man. So it was pretty cool. BC Truck wants to know, will I be doing a distance review on the handheld Randy? I might. I know I said I was going to. I'm not sure if it's really worth doing a full video, but I can tell you my informal testing, 2 miles handheld to handheld is what I've been able to get. Randy to base, like I could probably do 4 miles. That's gonna be pretty much it. Hey Jesse, how's it going, man? My buddy from cop school. Good to see you, my man. Mike Cricket, not sure if this is going to work, but yes, they are. I didn't hear you, man. But okay, I'll do a range test. All right, John. So I'll try to do that. I'm sorry. Like, I get so much stuff. In fact, my wife and I were talking about how we film so much, and then I feel like I get behind, and then I forget what I was doing. Like, it's kind of weird. I'm just kind of a weird guy. So, chicken love is good fertilizer. Yes, Thomas, it sure is, man. And that's why we keep it. Just saying he lives close to the New York line. Yeah, so I went through upstate New York, Connecticut, all up and down. I spent a lot of time in Connecticut. I went to a place in Connecticut that was really cool called, and I made a video on this, and I'll have to upload at some point, called, oh my gosh, Newgate Prison. This place is the oldest prison in America, the first prison in America, and it was like a hand-dug copper mine or some kind of mine that they just started throwing people in when they were in trouble, and man, was that sketchy. Yeah, boy, those are tough. That's crazy, man. I'll tell you what. Submarine Radio Man said, did you get a chance to visit the submarine base in New London? And dude, it was on my list. So I went to Mystic Seaport. I filmed a bunch of the sailing ships that were there. And I was like, oh man, I'm like 20 minutes down to go to this. But then I was going to go up to Massachusetts. And I slept in the car. When I woke up in the morning, I was like, I don't want to go backtracking. I want to go straight up. So I missed seeing the Groton Naval Base, which would have been awesome. So, yeah, man. So, yeah. So, there it is. Eric D said, don't split it up. We'll have to chase you all over the place. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Don't worry, D. I'm going to keep it around here, man. Let's see here. Joe R. Franklin County, Western Mass. All right, cool, man. Jeff Clyburn, hey, it's good to see you're eating healthy and taking care of yourself. All right. So here it is. I've got a lot of medical stuff. I'm not supposed to eat anything. My buddy at work is always like keeping an eye on me there. My wife at home is always keeping an eye on me here. And so here's the deal. Back injury. I think I mentioned this in the video that I made about that injury. Depression. And depression is a real thing. We have to deal with it the way we deal with it. I don't drink. I hardly smoke cigars anymore, and I don't do drugs, which is something I recommend no one do. And so I got to have something, man. Everybody's got to have something. So I decided I like hot dogs. I know that nitrates and all that stuff's not good for me, but I chowed down, brother, and you know what? It brought me out of that depression. So, Jeff, that's my excuse. It may not be a good one, brother, but that's my excuse. Joe, I think I'm almost positive I drove through New Milford, Connecticut on the way around. I was on Route 8, I was on 95, I was on the Merritt Parkway, I was on Highway 1, Super 7 or Route 7. I was all over, man. I was everywhere, brother. Mike Cricket, MFJ sells Eton radios. I had no idea. Cool. Yeah, Eton's good stuff. Let's see what else we got here. Finger Lakes, New York. Yeah, right on, dude. I did go to a beautiful lake. I don't know if, again, so much footage. I don't know what I'm going to end up making into videos because people don't generally like, they don't come on to Farpoint for travel blogs. But again, they're kind of talking about how my channel is a little bit of everything. So I'll throw a couple up. There was a couple of buildings and places that I saw that I thought were interesting. I'll throw them up there. And for the people that enjoy it, and the people that don't, well, I'm sure they won't be huge hits, but that's the way it is. Oh wow, man! Eric D. His father was deployed on the Redfin Gato class sub. Man, I did get a chance to go on a Gato class or Balo class at up in Massachusetts. Amazing pieces of technology, man. It's just incredible what we were able to do back then. Thief in Law says I'm having problems getting good ground on my AM station. The ground here in Mississippi sucks. Any tips? So multiple grounds. So you can pound in a stake and use that as a ground. You can also use the ground coming through your power, like through your house ground, which in a lot of times, in some cases, it introduces interference. In other cases, it really does help. So that would be something I would probably recommend is try. You could ground it to a pipe in your house. You could ground it to a ground rod in your house, and you could ground it to the ground in your power and see if that helps. I've done that when I lived in my last house because we had all kinds of weird interference issues. So there you go. Let's see here. I've missed a few. I'll try to get to them. North Coast Hobby, good man. Hey, I love your channel. Always love the FTA stuff and the over-the-air stuff. You're asking about satellites. Isn't that funny? Here I am like, hey man, love your stuff. Satellite videos plan. Yeah, good. I'm glad to hear you got your first CB. That's awesome. And yeah, I bought a Edison 4K receiver, and so I will be playing with that. I don't like spending a ton of time inside during the good months here because we do have a long winter, I'm sure, like you as well. And so I'll probably be playing with it more towards the fall and into the winter when it's too nasty to be outside or too cold to even work in the shop. I'll plug it in and play with it there, but yeah, there'll always be more satellite stuff. Really a cool hobby. You and Robbie cover it so well. And it's just, I'm the also ram, but as long as I can bring awareness to it and kind of push them in y'all's direction, I'm happy to do that, man. So there you go. Jonathan saying, welcome to the club. That's right. Let's see here. Roxall, their guys are talking about grounds. I'm going to skip forward to the front here. Now, Andrew, thank you. I'll tell her you said that. He's saying you can't beat a good hot dog, but my wife is a good cook. She is a great cook. I've been, she's part of the channel now. She's still real hesitant. And, she was like up until about 2 hours ago, she was going to be in this with me. She was going to sit here with me. She's shy. A lot of ladies are self-conscious or they're just shy in general. They don't like the way their voice sounds. You know how many people could have great YouTube channels, but they don't like the way their voice sounds when they're listening to it? And so a lot of people have those kind of issues. And, I got to take it slow. But she does cook great meals. She made me a wonderful dinner right before I came out here. She cuts my hair. She cooks me dinner. She's a great wife. And she deserves everything that I can provide for her, which, is never going to be enough. But, yeah. I'll let her know you said that, man. Let's see here. Joe said you could have stayed at Motel Joe as long as my Doberman says it's okay. Oh, yeah, great. So how did Farpoint Farms die? Well, the guy got eaten by a Doberman. It's cool, though. He was all right. We took the McKinley out of his Volvo, so it wasn't a total loss. Oh, man. 9mm saying he's got a lot of back injuries, so I appreciate that, brother. DC Volts, you have not lived until you've had a southern West Virginia slaw dog. Oh, yeah, man. Raleigh's got Circus. It's like a mini chain that existed in Raleigh. And Wednesdays was 99-cent hot dogs, man. You get chili, slaw, mustard, onion, chili. Oh, my gosh, yeah. I loved them. We used to go down there and kill 5 or 6 of those. Might be why I have some intestinal and stomach issues at this point. But totally worth it, man. Hey, Chris Bill, it's good to see you in there, man. Joe R says his uncle served aboard the Enterprise. Right on, man. I assume that's the nuclear one that they just decommissioned. That's awesome, man. Submarine Radio Man. Yep, the Balance, Gato, and Trench class boats. Yeah, man. Just awesome. Balo, yep. Let's see here. I'm going to move down. For 10 years, I couldn't get my wife to say a word on camera. Now I have to edit her out. BC Truck, let me write down, I don't think I've ever been to your channel, or if I have, I don't remember it off the top of my head, but I'll certainly check it out now. BC Truck. And there's so many people who have awesome channels, and man, it's like, it's amazing how many people have found my channel and I talk to, or like, I take a look, and I don't know, Mower Junkie probably went back to talking on the radio by this point in the night, but like, I'll go in and like look at my subscribers for the last 30 days or 90 days. And a lot of times you got guys that got like 1,000 views, 800 subscribers, 500 subscribers, 1,000. and you click on it, and they got some really great content, and like you can just tell in 4 or 5 years they're going to be way bigger than I'll ever be. So I love going through there and finding those like channels that you never get recommended to you. So for those of you who do have channels, or those of you who are just interested in finding those lesser known channels, go ahead and look through your subscribers subscribed list, and you might find the next great channel. That's my recommendation, man. Warren Scott said Art Bell said never to listen to himself. Yeah, and if it were just me doing radio shows, like when I do the Midnight Cafe or some of the other stuff that I do on air only, I'll never listen to a repeat. In fact, I hate listening to repeats of the Midnight Cafe, even though they play pretty much 24/7 here. But this, YouTube, you gotta edit, and so that means playing it back, and so that's something you got to get over. And for a lot of people, I've got a coworker who's talented, he's smart. I mean, this guy could definitely have a great channel, and he's started a few times, but he just can't get over that, man. And I hope someday he can, man. Bernard, greetings, my friend. Good to hear you. Tom said my favorite channels are the ones where the husband and wife or guy and girlfriend ones. Yeah, I think it needs to be a good team. And, my wife and I, again, you don't get to see us on camera very often, but we get along really well. We don't argue. We have a great, rapport because we've been together for 20, 21, 22 years. So, I mean, I think that someday, maybe, in a year or two or whenever it happens, it'll be a great channel because of that. It'll be, Eric will do his radio videos and no one will care, but they will care about Jen's cooking videos, and they will care about our homesteading videos that we do together. So I look forward to that day, but we're not there yet. Progress sometimes is slow, but it does happen. Chubb's channel says he just installed a President Bill in his car, got it because of my videos, new to CB radios, and learned a lot. Well, thank you, man. I appreciate that, man. And you'll love that, Bill. Chris Bill saying I should post more on my channel. I just don't know how to edit. So, Chris, the way I learned how to edit, because I am computer illiterate, is YouTube. I had an old copy of Sony Vegas. That's what I use to edit my videos. And like anytime I'm like, how the heck do you do this? I pause it. I go onto YouTube and I write, how do you add text to a video in Sony Vegas? And there's a guy there with a 2 or 3 minute video showing you how to do it. So that's how I learned. I mean, that's how we all learn, right? That's how you learn how to fix a lawnmower. That's how we do all that stuff. So it's always cool. Let's see here. Are Vienna beef hot dogs overrated? Yeah, I feel like they are. We don't get them around here that often, like in our stores. But a couple times I've got them. I feel like to me they're overrated. I like Nathan's hot dogs, or the store brand that I get here. And if it's a skin-on dog, the only ones they sell down here in North Carolina are like Boar's Head, I think it is, which are really tasty, but also expensive, man. Jonathan K says you remaster old music shows. Oh, cool, dude. Mower Junkie says he has no problem hearing himself. I don't like to watch myself on the video. Yeah, some people are that way too. They're like, I look stupid or I look old. I know that's another thing where you're like, you take a picture and you look at the picture like, I don't look like that, do I? I've gotten to the point where I don't really pay attention to me, or I just make sure that I didn't swear or I didn't do, like there isn't some long pause that wasn't supposed to be there. A lot of times I forget what I was saying, or I screw something up and I have to just cut a segment out. So my video editing isn't very sophisticated. I usually try to do it in a one and done way, because video editing is a pain in the you-know-what. But if I say something I'm not supposed to say, or I say something I didn't like, I said it wrong, I'll chop that and then like just splice the two halves together. So that's about the only part, but that's it. Tracy, good to see you in here. Yeah, if I could afford it, I'd pay somebody to do the editing for me. Heck, the videos would probably be a whole lot better. Let's see here. Depending on how long my videos take a long time to edit. Yeah, and that's, you'll see I've got ones that are 20 minutes. It's crazy, man. Let's see here. I'm going to just read through. Michael Root, good to you, man. Oh my gosh, Michael Root, that is crazy. Michael Root saying, Eric, I subscribed to your channel when you had only 800 subscribers. Dude, that might put you right near the top of the line as far as one of the oldest fans of the channel. You remember, the first 8 videos I filmed for this channel in 2015, I think it was, were on a VHS camcorder, because that's what I had. I had that, and I had a converter, because we had bought a converter to convert videotapes over to DVD. So I used that to put those videos on the internet. And then I was literally filming a video, and the tripod fell over with the camera on it, and poof, that was the end of it. And that's why you didn't see me for 2 years. In 2017, I got my first cell phone. My wife made me get a cell phone, and I got a cell phone, and I hate it to this day. I hate cell phones, but it had a camera in it, and I was like, ooh, I could use this. And so that's what I did. So the next, I think, 250 videos from a cell phone. And then I got her old cell phone, which had high definition. And so the next like 200 were high definition from her cell phone. And then we finally got that 4K camera. So I got big, man. You know, I think I was like 30,000 views. I was like, or 30,000 subscribers. I was like, I better buy a real camera. The people demand it, right? Oh gosh. Jeff saying some channels just turn into commercials and beg for super chats. Interesting. Let's talk about that for a second, because I get problems with that. First, I'll never beg for a super chat. What I will say is, as far as commercials, it is tough, man. So like, I grew up poor. I'm still poor. And so when a company's like, hey, we want to send you something. Do you want to look at this? Do you want to do this? You know, they'll send it to me. And early on, I felt like I was obligated to like make a video on it and give it a good review. And I'll be honest, there was stuff that showed up, and I would literally pay to have it sent back, because I was like, this is straight trash, dude. So I stopped doing that for a while, and then like all of a sudden, everyone comes back and they're like, hey man, we want you to review this beautiful radio. You know, President had, they were one of the first like sponsors of I won't say sponsor, but they were like, we'd love you to look at this radio, man. And if you don't like it, just keep it. Just don't make a video on it. And I didn't even realize that was a thing. So I have worked with President for years now. And luckily, their radios don't suck. Like, they've never sent me anything I would even come close to being like, this is crap. And then the same thing happened with Midland and those GMRS radios. They said the same thing. They were like, we want to work with you. And I was like, okay, but if your stuff sucks, I'm not going to make a video on it. But I don't want to pay the money to send it back. And so they were like, no problem. And so that's a thing. So there's some companies, a lot of overseas companies, they don't like that. And so I won't deal with them anymore. But most of the companies are like, dude, we're going to send you the product. If it's great, maybe you make a video and not so much sell it, but just be like, hey, look at this. This is a cool radio or a cool whatever. But if it sucks, you don't have to send it back, but please don't post a video on it. And so that's the way it's been. In fact, this summer early on, I got a pair of shoes. I'm not going to mention the company. I've never done it. Why would somebody even want to send me shoes? But I needed a pair of shoes, and they were steel-toed. And so I was like, yeah, let's do it. So I got the shoes, and oh my God, these things are horrible, guys. Like, I wish I could say the name, but out of courtesy, I'm not going to. But these are the worst shoes I have ever. They were like if somebody put steel-toed insoles into a pair of slippers and then was like, yeah, man, these are combat tested or whatever. Oh my God, they were horrible. So my wife and I have decided that other than stuff that I actually really, really want, and in the case that's usually like radio equipment, shortwave radio, transmitters, things like that, or stuff that I want to be able to then raffle off, or not raffle, what do you call it? Giveaways, So that's what we're going to do there. There's been a ton of messages. Let me scroll ahead here. And Thomas, thank you for the $5. As I'm telling you, I'm never going to ask for super chats. I got Thomas sending $5, man. Cell phones are Star Trek communicators. Yeah, right on. Thank you so much for that. And Alzi, Freebird, right on. $10 from England, or that's a pound sign for me, so I'm going to guess England. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you. I don't ask for it. It's always wonderful when people do that. But yeah, that's not what this channel's about, so I hope people will remember that. Let's see here. I've got a ton of stuff. Eric D wants to know about a pipe smoking or tobacco review. You might have missed it. So I don't do tobacco stuff anymore because one of the companies I work for in town has asked me not to promote tobacco products. And I think that's reasonable. So that's why I don't do that anymore. There are my old, I did about 25 cigar reviews back in the day. And they're on there somewhere. They're also on BitChute, I think. But that's why I don't do that anymore. It's not good. You got kids coming on and watching this. It's a really family-friendly channel. And so I thought it was a bad idea to be promoting, stuff that kids, might think, oh, well, he smokes cigars. Let's do that, So that's why I stopped doing that, my man. 741, good to see you. Better late than ever. Camping in Cape Cod. Right on, brother. So 741's got an awesome channel. I'm sure all of you already know about it, but if you're the one person here that doesn't, he does great stuff. In fact, a lot of what I know about comes from him. 741 helped me get that awesome power station that I did a couple weekends ago, and thank you for throwing that out to me, brother, because that is everything the other one wasn't, and it is currently in use out in the garage or out in the shed right now. It's a backup power for the radio station. So thank you, man. I really appreciate that. And let's see here. H&X Media president makes some dang good radios. The McKinley and Randy wouldn't trade them for anything else. Yeah, man. And I just recently, Jay Stevens is talking about it. I got the Lincoln 2 Plus, and it's like that thing is so nice. Like the audio quality, the sound quality on that is so much, man. It's so nice. It's so nice. Hold on a second. I missed like 30 or so of these things, so I'm going to read some without reading them out loud. I just want to see if I'm missing something, and if I'm not, I'm just going to go to the end here and start. Eric's asking, has there ever been a dud president? Not in the ones they've ever sent me, I can tell you that. Andrew's saying there's a lot of hate on YouTube about Baofeng radios or Baofeng radios. And again, I don't understand that. I had somebody sent me a Baofeng to look at. I made a video kind of covering it. There's so many videos on it, I didn't feel like doing an in-depth review of it. But it's a good radio. I've got it in the pile somewhere here. Rip saying hello from Mississippi. Good for you, brother. How good to have you in there. Thomas wants to know why I don't show the like discount. And this is a weird story that I've gone over years ago, but so a couple years back, there was a competing channel, and YouTube never shared the information with me after their investigation. They was actually paying a company to put dislikes on all my radio-related videos. So let's say there was another ham or CB station or channel out there that wasn't doing well, or my views were doing better. I don't know what, but they literally were cheating. They were paying a company X amount of dollars to put dislikes on my videos to try to downvote them or something. I don't remember the exact stories on this now, but so they put it to private mode while they conducted their investigation. And my understanding is they closed their investigation and found the person responsible, and that channel was, punished. I'm not sure. It may have been demonetized or it may have been removed. They wouldn't share who that channel was, but I do remember talking about on a live show when that, when they turned it off on my videos, that like, how pathetic. Like, come on, man, you gotta be kidding me. Who would do that? It's so silly. But, I guess if you're really competitive or you really, really wanted your channel to do better, I guess that's something you would do. I'm thinking, like, why would you waste time, effort, and money to do something as stupid as that? But so I still see the numbers on my end, and it's funny, like this. The second the investigation started, they must have nailed the company that was doing it pretty quick, because it went from like, I'd put a CB radio video out and get like 30 downvotes, and I'm like, how could you downvote? I didn't, like, what is to be angry about here? And then like after their investigation, be like, I got one guy, and I think I made a post about this. I have one person who's like a crazy stalker that downvotes every single one of my videos, and there was a couple weeks where he didn't, and I was worried about his health, so I reached out publicly and said, man, I hope you're feeling better. And now my one dislike every every video is back. So it's not unusual for a YouTube video to get some dislikes. That's not the problem. But it was like this massive like you'd go on at 10 o'clock in the morning, and it'd be like, everyone loves it, and you go on at 10:01 and there'd be 40 dislikes, and you're like, that seems odd. How did that happen? And so that's why I never bothered to turn it back on, but I could, I guess. I don't know. Is it that important? If it's really important to folks, I guess I could turn it back on. But to me, it's just, honestly, YouTube said that the likes and dislikes, they don't care if it's a like or a dislike. They consider both to be engagement, and that helps your channel. So go figure. The guy was literally paying to help promote my channel, apparently. Ain't that just funny? Bernard saying, I'm writing a book, Crisis Communications in a Modern World, Effectively Communicating with Family, Friends, and Civil Authorities in Emergency Situations. Dude, awesome book. Sounds like a great book. Could you shoot me an email? I would love to read that book when it is ready to be sold, my man. That sounds like a great idea, my man. H&X Media is talking about a McKinley as his base station and a 980 in the Jeep. Awesome collection, right? Also got an Anytone. Hey, Megan, how you doing, man? Good to see you in there. Glad to have you in tonight. Yeah, Jen. Jen was supposed to be here tonight. She's actually doing some work. She's filming a video on her Mirage, like a long-term review. So that's why you won't see her face tonight. BC Truck says he has a very dedicated thumbs down fan club. Yeah, I guess there's like, and I don't ever, how do I put this? I don't pretend to understand people of the way you all think I understand people. I don't like, there's a lot of stuff that goes on. I've always worked with very small groups of people, so I don't understand larger dynamics. And I'm learning about it because I'm working with larger groups of people, this channel included now. But I don't understand like clicks. I don't understand, hateful fans. Like if I don't like something, I don't watch it. Like, hey man, this channel sucks. I'm never going back here. I think like 2 or 3 times in, since YouTube was invented, I've left a negative comment for somebody. And honestly, I felt like those were like ultimately super deserved critical information. Like, hey, your channel or this video or whatever, it sucks. And here's why, and I know that people, are not going to like that. But I've had a couple people reach out to me and been like, dude, your audio sucks. And this is back when I was using, my cell phone. And I was like, yeah, I know, man. But like, I don't have the money for a wireless mic. I don't have this. I don't have that. So yeah, they weren't saying they hate me. I'm not taking it personally. They were saying, hey, look, your video quality, you got good content, but the quality of your video sucks. Work on it. And I feel like that's constructive criticism. And so I think that two of the 3 times that I have given negative feedback to a channel, it's been for something like that. Like, hey, don't film your video this way, like the cell phone stupid stuff. Film it this way so it looks like a regular TV set, because a lot of folks are watching this on TVs or on computers. I know people still watch stuff on their cell phone, but for the majority, at least according to my stats that they show me, the majority of views still come from conventional platforms. So that's been my like criticism or whatever you want to call it. Let's see here. I don't know. Alzy's asking, how's my health and recovery doing on your personally wishing you well. So I'm doing better. I'm not perfect by any means. I can, like, my ribs are healed supposedly, but there's something going on inside behind the rib cage. And so if I start flexing or doing stuff or picking up heavy stuff, there's still a lot of pain that goes on, like after a while of exercise. The good news is it's not like re-tearing anything. It may just be scar tissue, and it may just take more time to fix. I've actually got an appointment. I'll be going back in, and they're probably going to do another like MRI to make sure there's nothing going on behind the scenes. I was having some blood work done to make sure that we're not talking about the terrible C word, but I don't feel like it's anything out of the ordinary. I think I'm just old, and it's taking too darn long to fix. You know what I mean? Part of the joys of getting older, I guess. Joe R, I've heard that. I can't remember what channel it was that was like a very popular one that straight up blew away their own channel. Bad. That's terrible, man. I wonder what the actual, like, what they say to make people think that they need to do that, but I don't know, man. Somebody was saying too, and it's already scrolled by, I'm not going to scroll back up just so I can keep kind of current, that people like downvoted because not so much your channel or what you're talking about, but they don't like the whole subject. And so in the case of CB radio, I know there's like ancient hams that still hold some kind of ancient beef about, like radio, as if all radios aren't the same. And all I keep preaching is there ain't a whole lot of us left on any band, so we might want to band together, brother. You know what I mean? So there it is. And Megan saying, looking forward to Jen's review. Hey, Bruce, how's it going? Bruce White. Bruce and I used to work together years ago, my man. Eric, my old friend, I brought that Redicus radio you reviewed. I am retiring at the end of August. Holy cow. Yeah, you were talking about moving up here last time we chatted, man. That's awesome, dude. Well, good. That Redicus, man, check out 5950 After the Sun Goes Down. I think you'll like that radio or that station. They play some great content. Right on, see. I have people tell me that my camera makes me look old, fat, and bald. I tried a bunch of different cameras and then realized that I'm fat, bald, and old. I think you just won the afternoon, my man. That's it. Yeah, I've been looking for a camera myself that makes me look young, attractive, smart. So far, I've had no luck either, man. So there you go. YTGRE is asking, and this has been asked a lot, both in comments and tonight. What do you think of CB on FM? I'm going to say this again in 741. I hope you're still in here. I have a video that I made that I was going to talk about today about that. And as a courtesy to the other many YouTubers that have already covered it this past week, and 741 put out an awesome video on the content of that. And it's doing really well, and I don't want to step on that. So out of courtesy to fellow YouTubers, and I think we all do this sometimes publicly and sometimes privately, I'll wait till next weekend to talk about it. But I don't have anything particularly interesting to say about it, to be quite honest with you. It is a thing. I don't think it's going to be a wave. I think it's, it's a thing. So we'll talk about it again next weekend. I've got a video. I'll probably put it out Saturday or Sunday, and it's just, I'll fill you in. But if anyone out there is panicking about it or whatever, I don't think there's any reason to panic, and I also don't think there's any reason to really jump up and down for joy. Just hold on. Things change sometimes. That's just the way it is. Thomas is saying my hair is so gray that a lot of times I look bald. Yeah, that happens too. Andrew the Star Fam, every channel starts off in some way bad or good. It's when people make channels saying I didn't catch that. That one didn't come out right, I guess. I will say this. Here's something as far as like channels and the people. The guy that, and I won't name the company, but there was a guy that I worked with for years, and I asked him, hey man, would you be interested in working with me on this particular project? And he said, sure, we have no problem, sending whatever you want, or working with you on whatever you want, or giving you whatever information you want. And he said, what we like about your channel isn't so much your personality or your quality or whatever. It was the nature of your fans. Like, you look at the comment section in my fans, and no one's like trash talking each other, man. There aren't these little wars going on, and there aren't wars between me and the fan base, right? I don't nurture that, and so that's, I think, has come a long way in my channel as far as like everyone's kind of happy with each other. Sometimes you may have a disagreement, but it's not the end of the world, man. It's just like, this isn't the real world. This is just for fun. Let's have fun, Megan's asking, where is the flooding river? Performance muscles are tiny little muscles that take a long time to recover from inflammation, and PT could help. Oh, cool. Right on. So, yeah, I think it's just going to end up being that. Micro fractures or tears or whatever. It's just I'm running out of time on recovery time. I got to get back to stuff. And it also kind of like, you start sitting on the couch too much, or you start doing not a ton of work too much, you become lazy. Like, it happens, man. So, Thief-in-Law says, there isn't another AM station within 100 miles of me. How much would an FCC license cost? There is a website where you can buy licenses, and not from the FCC now. It is like you can buy old radio stations. Some of these stations are still functional. Sometimes you're just buying the license. You're buying the legal, numbers or, call signs or whatever. I wish I could tell you the name of it off the top of my head, but if you Google it, chances are you will find it. At any given time, there are probably 300 or 400 stations for sale in the United States. Some on FM, some on AM, and low-powered TV stations, full-powered TV stations. These are all for sale, and you'd be surprised in some markets what you can buy one for. We looked real hard last year at buying one in Georgia. I was going to buy a 10,000 watt AM station in Georgia, south of Atlanta. Oh gosh, what was the name of that town? I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank. But very reasonable. It was property. It was the tower. It was a full-size building, and it was a functioning station. So these things can still be bought for a lot less than you think. That was about a third of the cost of an average house for something with 4 acres of land. I think it was a 100-foot tower and a 1,500 or 1,600 square foot building. Right on, right? What brand 102 whip and spring do you use, and where can I find it? Oh gosh, I don't recall, sir. I got it off of eBay. It was 2 for the price of 1. I just don't remember. The springs come from, I bought out Radio Shack when they were going out of business. 741 says, by all means, post your video. The more the merrier. I've got a lot of good feedback. Yeah, I know, man, but like, it's sometimes, I don't know. I just don't want to cut into that. And I don't do that for Mower Junkie. I don't do that for you. I try not to do that for anyone. 640 in the mix. Let me know about this early on. I think it came out the same day yours came out. And, he's a newer channel getting started. I don't want to step on his toes either. And honestly, you guys covered it awesome. I'm just giving my opinion. But I'll wait till next weekend, man. But I appreciate that. I know, like, I doubt there wouldn't be, I doubt there would be animosity or whatever. But just, you know, it's just, I think there's, if there isn't, there should be a code, you know, like that just says, you know, I don't want to hurt your sales or whatever. I don't know what you want to call it. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. But you know what I mean, man. You're a good guy, and I hope someday to shake your hand. I don't know. Oh, 741, you weren't in here. But I am not going to be able to make it to Alabama. And I hate that I'm not going to get to see you down there. I am going to the Shelby Ham Fest, and I don't think you're going to be able to come down there because I know you're up in Connecticut. But I think that's the biggest bummer of not going down to that one in Alabama is that I won't get to meet you. But, you know, I consider you a friend. So if you need a place to crash for the night on your way down there or something, let me know. Eric's tech stuff saying, I remember when hams used to attack eBay sales of export radios. They used to have to be real creative. I remember that too, as far as like 10 meter amps, 11 meter amps. Like they used to flag them, and I got some hate mail. I was selling some stuff that I picked up at a yard sale, some amps, and there was a guy like, you're gonna get banned from eBay, and I was like, what? Like, get out of here, man. You know, come on. Mower Junkie saying didn't really know we weren't supposed to use it, right? Yeah, because all the export radios got FM mode. So, yeah, that's kind of interesting, too. Thompson saying the best advice is not to bash other channels. Exactly, man. There's a gazillion of us on YouTube, and seriously, there's like a gazillion more people that are willing to watch those channels. So don't be like, I don't see any reason to be like, dude, 741's channel sucks and my channel's better, and like, come on, what are you doing, dude? Like, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, if I have a channel and I'm literally going to Mower Junkie in 741's channel and watching their videos, and Mike Cricket's in here too, man, and I love his stuff, and he's an up and comer, but I'm telling you, in 3 years, I'll be like, dang, how did he get so many views and I don't get any? It's because he's better. And I'm not going to get hurt about that. I'm just going to admit it and drive on. Maybe I'll watch his stuff to get ideas on how to make a better video, right? So there you go, man. Anyway, let's see here. There's a comfortable, nostalgic feel here. I like that. I'll go with that. Oh my gosh, I'm missing so many of these comments here. Let's see here. Hustler. Yeah, Hustler makes springs. That's right. Who sings the Farpoint Farms theme song? That would be the illustrious Marky Shaw, who I haven't heard in here for a while, but who was a fan of the channel. And remember how I was talking about just a little while ago how I'll go in, like somebody makes a comment on my video, and I'll be like, I wonder, or if a new subscriber comes up and they have some subscribers, I'll take a look at their channel to see, hey, what is this guy or gal into? Marky Shaw creates, and he sometimes covers songs, but he also creates his own. And he had a song on there called Revolution, and I sent an email to him and was like, bro, I love your song. Would you mind if I use that as like the theme song on my channel? And he reached out to me and said, no way, dude, no. He's like, you can use any of my songs as like background or whatever for your channel. I'm honored, but let me make you a custom song. And so we talked back and forth about what values are important to me, what things I enjoyed as far as hobby goes, and what do you know it? So there he goes. He made that awesome song. So that's Marky Shaw, and he's a great guy. Megan says, short visit, dealing with the big C. Oh, gosh, I'm so sorry. Megan, I am sorry. I'll say a prayer for you, my friend, and your family. I'm glad that you came by and stopped by. Take care. I'm going to move down. I might miss a few, but let me see here. Yeah, I'm going to move down to the bottom here. 741 saying, bummer, I've got 2 sisters in NC now, so I'll get down there soon. I'd love it, man. We could go have lunch or dinner or whatever. You come by and sit around the farm. Come while the weather's still good. Don't come down here when it's freezing. But we'll do a crossover video. There you go. That's, they do that with movies all the time now. We can do that with YouTube. I feel like it's the thing. I came on your show one day and we did a live show, so it could happen. It could work. Chubb's channel saying, I'm already a President fanboy. What would you say the best radio from them is? So for a modern car, the President Bill fits just about in any car made. For a solid performing sideband radio, they only make one, but it's getting harder and harder to find a true 11-meter sidebander. That McKinley kills it, man. I used it all up and down and all around, and it just works. It's great, man. So there you go. Yeah, right on. Mike Crick says, I'm always going to be here watching. Right on, man. Mower Junkie, My Cricket, I agree. What do y'all think of CB should be allowed to go to 27,995? So, it's interesting that, as far as like messing with CB, um, yeah, I've got some ideas, but the truth is, I only feel like no matter what we do, it's just, I don't know. I think we kind of do what needs to be done with CB without permission, and I think that's what makes CB fun. Is that's my highly inappropriate comment on CB radio. So there you go. President Walker 2, I've got in my truck, Chris. That's also a great radio. Great. It's like the Cobra 29 killer. I always like refer to President's radio as Cobra killers because honestly, and here's the funny thing. 741, you were talking about how in your video how Cobra's the one that petitioned to have FM added, and my initial thought was, well, that's funny because Cobra hasn't done anything. Like they don't. Like what have they done? Where's their new products? Where is the refresh of their line? They put a digital faceplate on the Cobra 29. Yay! Then they canceled the their sideband radio. What have they done recently for CB radio? I mean, all their product line is like ancient. So I was shocked that in 2017 somebody over there was scratching their head like, hey man, maybe we could add FM. Like that just kind of cracked me up, man. But like, yeah, so I refer to everything from President as Cobra killers. But honestly, I think Cobra died of natural causes, and President's just been like, what would be great is if we put something out to replace what the Cobra 29 used to be. And the Walker 2 is a beautiful example of that. So H&X Media saying Marky Shaw has some great songs, downloaded a few that I run all the time. Yeah, man. So he was kind enough, like I said, he gave me all of his independent songs that him and his buddy created or him himself created. I run them on the radio station when I do live shows, and some of them are really, really good. And so that's awesome. But the song he created for me, I don't think there's a person out there that hasn't heard that song and then immediately had it stuck in their head forever. The guys I used to work with in town at the shop when I worked part-time, when they found my channel, I came to work one day, they were singing it, and they were doing it to mess with me. But then later on in the day, they were like angry because they couldn't get it out of their head. So there you go. Chubb's channel saying I'm still learning about CBs and have no clue about sidebands. So for guys that get really into CB radio, a sideband gives you a little bit better range, but it's also like where all the long distance chat tends to happen. It's like as close to ham as you're going to get without getting a ham, because it's a little bit different language. It's cool. Look into it. You can watch my channel, my video on like, getting into sideband or how it operates. It's got some, audio clips of it and stuff, but there you go. 741 saying he agrees President's way better than Cobra. They are, man, and it's not that Cobra couldn't bring themselves back from the dead, but it's like, where you been, man? What are you doing? Bring back the 142. Bring back the 148. Or like recreate, like Uniden knew the grant had run its course. The President knew the grant had run its course. So instead of just rehashing it, they created the 980. And some people complain about the screen on it, but it's a darn good radio. I've been using mine for like 4 years now and haven't had a lick of trouble out of it. So there you go. All right, let's see. DC Volts on the channel stuff. You can't please everyone, so just be yourself. That's it, man, right? Mower Junkie saying, Eric, your channel helped me push into YouTube. I thought, if this guy can do it, so can I. By the way, I've been a subscriber for many years. Yeah, man, I think Mower Junkie, you get fed, when you go on YouTube, you get fed all these, these younger guys that are, good looking and have highly polished channels, and, everything is just so professional. But, I think good content and just being a good human being, and bro, you're a good human being. You're a decent guy. Your wife's a decent gal. I think that comes through, and when you're honest and just like regular, then regular people want that. So they come to you. And I know I can't. It's been a couple years now, but I remember being a huge fan of your channel and talking about it on here. And I remember you being like, "Oh wow, man, I didn't know you watched." And I thought, what are you talking about? Of course I'm watching. So, and I feel that way about everyone. I know Mike Cricket was the same, kind of like a couple months ago. I was like, man, you're putting out some great content. And he's like, what? Yeah, I didn't know you were watching my stuff. So, there you go. I do. I watch a lot of small channels. I watch channels. There's a guy now that's just doing he's doing an AM transmitter. And he's in Tennessee somewhere in an apartment complex. And I've been watching. I wish he would put out like a video every day, because he puts one out every couple months. And I love watching it, man. And it may not interest everybody, but you know, I love it. So I'll watch channels that got 2 subscribers. If it's good content, it's good content. Yeah. So anyway, Radio Man, what mic am I using now? Right here, this is a like a USB generic mic that I picked up for the show. For CB, usually I use that Radio Shack or Realistic, and I can't remember what it's a clone of, but it always gets good results. You know, people say it sounds good. Chris Keller saying if you want a good export radio, get the 955. Definitely. Yeah, they're just beautiful too, man. Just beautiful. 9mm AR man said he bought a McKinley because of the reviews here. And yeah, man. Yeah. Let's see here. McKinley. I'm just going to read through some of these. Man, what time is it anyway? My gosh, it's probably blown through. Oh, okay. That's not as late as I thought it was. I got one line. I'm just reading. Sorry guys, I'm being quiet. It's my problem here. 66 people watching though. I'm impressed with that. It said 49 people hit the thumbs up button. That's cool. I don't know what it shows on your end or if it shows on your end, but Chubb channel, I said I'll definitely be scanning your videos for sure. I just subscribed a couple days ago. Oh, awesome, man. Well, like I said, I'll be checking out yours as well, Chubbs. I'm writing it down right now, brother. Mike Cricket Mower Junkie is a tad close to the data portion of 10 meters. Yep. Right on. So anyway, anybody got any questions as far as like what's coming up in the future here? There is going to be probably more radio content than usually. Usually it's been like a 1/3 mix, radio, homesteading and random. Just because my back injuries and having more time to sit around and be not working, not working. How do I put this? Not working in the usual way. Like I haven't done a ton of car work for customers this month or last month. So and I did do a bunch of traveling, so a lot more videos on radios filmed, and then also a lot more like travel stuff or like oddball stuff that I've never really messed with. But there is a good amount of stuff on solar, so I'm hoping you guys will watch solar. If you guys own a radio, you should probably watch the video that I put out next weekend about that 100-watt solar panel setup. It just gives you a way of staying online if things go offline, if you know what I mean. It's 100 watts. You're going to use your regular old battery, and you're going to use a solar charge controller and inverter, and I swear you're going to be in it for like $100. And I think that if you save up for that $100, it'll pay you back someday. Right on. BC Truck saying, I like your channel because it's eclectic. It's a lot of weird stuff. Yeah, that's right. So I'm trying to think of what other stuff I'm getting ready to get into. And not a whole lot. I do have some stuff that I'll be talking about in October that have happened in life this year. I hope anyway. And like I said, I'm also looking at putting the Midnight Cafe and the other show we do on shortwave, specifically on 5950 and 5850. I think are the 2 channels we were looking at dealing with. So there's something for you. What would be the best CB radio for your home in your opinion? And I would say the one that you can afford. How about that? I actually have a video that I made that's going to be coming out in the next couple of weeks talking about like the top 3 radios for base stations, top 3 radios for whatever. So, but as far as in the home, like a genuine base station is, unless you're buying used, there's the Galaxy, and that's about it. I liked the Unit 980 and the McKinley because they both have sideband, they both have scan, they're both just solid, good radios, and either one of them with a small power supply is going to be any bit as good, if not better, than your traditional, unit in Washington or 142, Cobra. So that would be the 2 that I'd recommend for that. Mike, I like what your comment is. CB radio isn't dead, it's empty. It is, but it's not always empty. I mean, there are times that I'm outside working and I flip that radio on, and like the other day when I was talking about Mower Junkie, I couldn't hear him, but I could hear everybody talking to him, basically. There are times, and obviously it has a lot to do with solar flares and stuff like that, but you get on there and just like, you can feel like everybody's on the air, man. There ain't a channel that's dead. And it's a cool feeling. It reminds me of the 80s, so I like that. Oh, okay, here's a good one. Warren Scott wants to know what happened to Heather Wade. Heather, has some mental issues, unfortunately, and I haven't talked with her in a while now, but she's probably gone for good this time. She brought the show back and did about a 4-month run that last go around. She's just not able to make any money doing it, man. Like, and I get it. Like, I get where she's coming from, but I also get with where the companies that are working with her come from. You have to show some consistency. If you're there and then you're not, if you're supposed to be there and then you're not, I mean, it's like any job. Do you want a person working for you that doesn't you know, come to work reliably? And because of what she's got going on in her life, she doesn't come to work reliably. And so she's able to do it when she's able to do it, and I applaud her for trying to do that, but I don't think she'll ever do it as a professional again. I hope I'm wrong, because I enjoy Heather on the air. I think she's a great host, but that's where we're at. That's where we're at. Thomas wants to know, or is asking, you don't do Midnight Cafe on YouTube? I don't do Midnight Cafe on YouTube anymore because of the C word. Not the big C word, although it's the second biggest C word. So that's what's going on there. We do still do stream online on the Shoutcast platform, on several web pages. There's a couple of like internet radio stations that carry it, and I'm not going to even talk about any of it on here anymore, because it's kind of like, it's like the secret that I want you to find, but that I can't tell you to find. And as far as going on to shortwave, yeah, I'm going to tell you that. It's something we're looking into. It's not something that's a guarantee. I would have to really work hard to find sponsors for that, as far as they don't provide any advertising, like we don't get a cut. So you pay to have your program on the station. It's a 100,000 watt station. It covers all of the United States, and that's a great thing. And it has, you know, obviously a lot of ears on it, but you're responsible for finding, you know, advertising for it. So that's tough to take on at this point in life. And it may be that the price is competitive enough that we just do it. And it's, you know, it's obviously a very free speech platform. So I look forward to the possibility of that becoming a thing. Mike is right about that. When you know what hits the fan, CB will be on fire, and that's it. Warren says she does bad things, no doubt. I mean, I'm not going to get into that, but, you know, we all deal with depression our own way. We all deal with the issues we have in our lives the own way. That's ain't the right way. There's no doubt about it, but people got problems. She got problems, no doubt. J.G. Stevens, have you considered lithium batteries versus lead? So I did. My main power system here at the house, that solar setup I made last year, is lithium. And man, boy, inflation, holy smokes. Dude, the cost of lithium battery, the same pack that I bought, cost 3 times more than what I paid for it. So if I had to do it right now, I would probably go back with lead acid batteries. That and the fact that lithium does have some issues when it gets really, really cold here. I've got to waste some of my wattage that I'm producing to keep them warm enough to keep them from being damaged by cold weather. But yeah, we have a 2.7 kilowatt hour battery, 270 amp hour batteries of lithium batteries out there powering the system. And it works right now. What I'm talking on right now is all 100% solar power. The computer, the radio station, all of it's solar. I've got so much solar. I wish eventually we're going to move the whole house off grid. The whole farm will be off grid, but one step at a time. Where is Cassandra Patterson? Miss Elvira. Chubb's saying, okay, cool, man. I got that. Chubb's, again, it's amazing the middle C word, you know, not the big C, but the C that we all deal with here on YouTube. Flagged your message, but I got it loud and clear. Making decals. Awesome. I actually would love to do something like that, so I might reach out to you. If you could shoot me an email on that, man, at the Farpoint Farm email, I'd love to talk to you about that. Do you know the name of the guy? You know, and you're putting me on the spot. I don't, man, and I hate it because I'd love to throw him a bone, but I don't, like, you know, I don't. I'm sorry. I've got it. I'm subscribed to him. You can look through my subscriber thing. Obviously, he probably has 200 or 300, and look, you know, gosh, I wish. Maybe I'll put it on as like a link or something like that in a post. But sorry, I don't know it off the top of my head. But he seems like a nice guy. He's been doing like range tests. He assembled it. He's very methodical. He's got some issues with ground because he's in an apartment complex and he's working on that right now. Art Bell Prodigy says, Warren Scott, I wish I was that smart or that good, but I have no talent. As I said on one of the very early YouTube versions of the Midnight Cafe, it's like watching Art Bell without the talent Without the talent, pretty much. I'll leave it at that. Mike saying he bought a Panasonic shortwave. Awesome, dude. I love shortwaves. I've got so many shortwaves here at the house. I give them out to people. They're like, what am I doing with this? You know, like, yeah, wait for it. Wait for it. Trust me, guys. Trust me, gals. Wait for it. Someday you're going to love that thing. Turn it on after the sun goes down. You might find some information out there. You're like, I had no idea we were still allowed to talk about this stuff. Ah, yes. Back to the Future, Forward to the Past. Yeah, COVID blasted the prices out of everything. Yeah, man, inflation's crazy, man. Crazy. Rock and Rod, free speech is a rare thing these days. It is rare, and it is about to become far more rare. It is so sad what's happening in this world. So sad. I don't understand it. I feel like I woke up in a parallel universe. And it just keeps getting worse. It feels like every morning I wake up and I'm like, I must have slipped into another dimension. And in this one, people actually like the fact that you're not allowed to speak freely. Woo! Yeah. What frequency is my AM station? It is 1670. And good luck, yeah. I got about a 2 mile, maybe mile and a half, 2 mile range on most given nights. During the daytime, significantly less. But yeah, 1670. AM radio, the voice of the mountains. WFPF. We also have an FM station, and there's also a lot of stations out there that cover some of the programming that I have. But again, they're all like micro broadcasters or community radio. I think the biggest one is 30 watts. It's somewhere up near Lake Michigan. So there's a lot out there that carry it, you know, hit or miss. I have heard my show on shortwave, but it was, you know, wasn't me. It wasn't coming from us. So I don't know where that came from. Okay, let's see. Use a livestock heating pad for your battery. That's exactly what we did. It was 40 watts. I used 2 of them, so we were burning 80 watts out of you know 1,000 or 1,200. So, Eric Norton saying first time caught the live stream. Well, good for you, man. Glad to have you in here. I'm getting ready to wrap things up. Although we got 72 people, man. That's pretty awesome. Pretty awesome for a live show. I remember when we used to do these things and get 11 or 16 or 13 or whatever. So it's pretty cool, man. Joe R. says, years ago when I was doing a Harbor Freight solar setup, I found good prices on batteries at Bat. Okay, I'll have to check that out. I'll write it down right now. There's a place that has great prices on solar panels, but the shipping is kind of painful. So next time we expand our system largely, I'll be going with them. Battery-wise, I was able to drive down to Raleigh. There was a company down there that I bought my batteries directly from. They're used cell tower batteries, lithium batteries. And they put them in cases and put charge controllers, or not, what do they call it? Battery monitors, whatever it is. And I went down there and tested a whole bunch of them and found one that was like peak. And that's what I've been using. It's working great, man. Let's see. Constantly getting, yeah. Yeah, Jonathan McKay saying having issues. Yeah, there's issues everywhere, man. And it's going to get a lot worse. And I'm not going to talk about it on this channel or I'll have some issues. But I hope you're able to find the Midnight Cafe and the other show that I do out there somewhere. You might recognize my voice. If you do, don't tell anyone. So, but yeah, I mean, I still believe in, you know, something. I believe in the Constitution. Gosh, what a radical thought that is. So that actually gets you in trouble these days. Amazing. Would you not make a podcast? So I have done podcasts before. Again, I'm not going to mention them, but they're out there. The Midnight Cafe podcast is out there, but it's just the YouTube version of it, so it's totally different than the other version of it. But there are other podcasts out there with me in it, and I don't go by name on those. So a lot of content that I put out is not. It's like not. It's me, but it's not me kind of thing. Let's see here. BMS. Yes. That's it. Battery management system. That was what I was trying to think of. I was like, charge controller? What are we talking about? I can't remember. Thomas says he likes small streams because the streamer catches most of the chats. Yeah, oh man, I like, you know, a lot of people don't like this guy. I like this guy because he just kind of rambles, kind of like I do. But Prepper Nurse does a lot of live shows, and like, he's so, I guess he gets so many people, but he'll be like, you know, he pretty much only answers people that give super chats or like pay money to him. And that's kind of cruel. Or I don't know. That's just not cool. I don't know. There are times when we've had so many comments going by, I just miss a bunch. But it's certainly not like, I don't like this dude, I'm going to ignore this guy or whatever. It's just literally there's so much of it going on. So, yeah, but you're right. I kind of like the fact that we get to have a conversation. I felt like when I started doing live streams, I used to like, I freaked out the first time I was going to do one of these because I was like, well, I think I hit 10,000 subscribers, and I'm like, I'm going to do a real one. And did a live show, and I didn't know what to expect, and it went pretty darn well. And I felt like, wow, I connected finally. Like I always try to respond to comments and the the videos that I put out, but it was the first time I felt like I really got to connect with some of y'all and make friends, or internet friends, whatever you want to call it. So that's why I kind of like these live feeds, and so I enjoy the interaction for sure. I don't ever come on here with like a topic, which I think is something that a lot of YouTubers come on. They're like, today we're going to talk about the 2-meter band or whatever. But in my case, I'm like, I'm going to come on here and talk to you. That's the whole point. Joe R says, I saw a video for a place that sells used solar panels. You get a pallet full for $50, but they ship for $250. That's still not a bad deal, man. $300 for a pallet of solar, YT Grease saying cell tower batteries are an excellent source for used batteries. Let's see here. Dallas wants to know what kind of batteries are used in cell phone towers. Big lithium batteries, right? So if the power goes out, they have banks of these giant lithium batteries. They're encased. And I think from new, they're probably 300 or maybe 350 amp hours, which is a good amount of juice. They're 24 volts. And so the cell towers, they use these things, and they'll use them, charge and discharge, charge and discharge. And then after a couple years of service, they pull them out. In the case of lithium batteries, they have a lifespan. They'll be like, oh, they're supposed to last 5,000 charges. But honestly, in real world settings, they often last like 20,000, And I'll take that literally, but they last a whole lot longer than they were ever anticipated to last. So if you buy one of these things used, and you can test to make sure that it's in fairly good shape, it's a heck of a deal, because a new lithium battery, I paid $680, I think it was, for mine. I went down, picked it up, and it weighs like 200 some odd pounds for that battery. A new battery that size would have cost well over $3,000. So that's the kind of deal you're talking about when you get a setup like that. And so that's why that's a good deal, pretty much. And matter of fact, that prepper nurse guy has like 7 or 8 of the same batteries that I have. So he runs his house, his mother-in-law's house, and his sister's house. Or no, his mother and his sister's house there. So all off of that. So pretty cool. BC Truck says he does live streams, but it's hard to catch all the comments because I do them in my shop while I'm working. Yeah, BC Truck, I tried that once, like where I was working on a car and I tried to film it and just like let people in on what my life is like. And I had a hard time with that too, because I kept stopping and like turning around trying to see the screen. Plus we had a whole bunch of connectivity issues that day, which kind of sucked. But 741, you're selling yourself short, brother. You're actually really good at it. In fact, like, I know we're our own worst critics, but I've always found 741, your content is so darn professional. I'm embarrassed to be on the same channel or the same, like YouTube as you, because like when you put out stuff, you'll do like, okay, we're going to review this radio. Like, dude, you're so scientific, man. You are so good. You like your descriptions and everything, and you're methodical. You are everything I'm not. I'm like the beginner's guide to the universe. You're like the expert's guide to the universe. And your live shows are just as awesome, man. I swear. So don't sell yourself short, man. I've always enjoyed watching those. Let's see here, man. I'm gonna move down. I've missed a bunch already, so I'm just gonna blast through a bunch. Dallas Rife said, did you say they were all 24 volt or also 13.8? I couldn't find any use for a 24 volt. So they are all 24 volt, Dallas, but you can get what's called a step down transformer, and you can use a 12 volt inverter, a 12 volt to power your radio, to 12 volt to power, your ham stuff. Yeah, so you can get a 24 volt and charge it at 24 volts, but use a step down converter to run 12. And so that's what people do. A lot of solar setups are like 48 volt systems. And there's a reasoning for it. I won't get into it because it's all like complicated as far as electricity and math and all that. But 24 volts, well, I'm not going to get into it. But trust me, for people that run 24, 36, or 48 volt solar systems, a lot of them will have a step down transformer so they can continue to use straight 12 volt stuff. So actually, Dallas, for you, I honestly feel like you probably should at some point invest in a setup like that. You have got yourself a beautiful radio station at this point. And it'd be a shame if the lights went off and you were staring at a dark screen. So it's something you want to look at. Definitely check out the video this weekend coming up on the 100 watt system. Might get your feet wet. If you're like me, you'll get your feet wet and you'll be like, oh, dude, I totally like this. I want to do more. And then you'll be broke for a totally new reason. And then, your wife will have something else to be like, what are all these panels out in the yard? So there you go, man. Oh, gosh. John said he's going to have to head out for another live stream. They are reviewing a Japanese exclusive channel. Cool, man. Well, I appreciate it. I'm getting ready to close shop, too, here. Let's see. It's oh, wow. Okay. I was going to go to 7:30. It's already past that, man. So 741 saying you feel the same way about my channel. Man, I never do anything super technical. And if I do, people would stomp all over me like, bro, you don't even know what you're talking about. Because, I do, but I have a hard time getting it from here to here. So, but I appreciate you blowing smoke. I appreciate that, dude. Oh, gosh. Motor Junkies chiming in the same way, man. There's no way it can be as professional as 741, man. You're like the cerebral dude. You're awesome, man, and I love it. Like, I go to your channel to learn, so it's like, yeah, don't sell yourself short, brother. Joe R. saying he's got 2 6-volt interstate golf batteries he uses in his solar setup. Very common, right? That's like the most common solar battery bank is deep cell golf batteries. They work great, man. I386 is saying, just got here. Yeah, man, we were talking about CB going to FM here a little while back, man. Eric saying, y'all are better. I can't even come close to Mower Junkie. Oh, gosh. I'll tell you what, guys. I think this is a great place to wrap it up, man. And this has been so much fun, man. And I know I went from February to like June without making a video or a live feed, and that's because of a lot of stuff that's going on in the world. I would hate for us to stray too far into uncharted territory, and I worry about it because they blast channels and they blast people, and even in the comment section they'll destroy a channel over comments. So, but it was fun coming back, and I'm gonna go back to trying to do it once a month. So it's been great to do it this month. Let's try and do it again. So that's awesome, man. 741 says he's the biggest hack on here. It's all editing. Well, then I'm going to pay you to edit my video so I look smarter. How's that sound, brother? Right on, man. All right, guys. Mike Cricket, 9mm AR, man. 556-223. 556, you were still dead to me for not coming over and shaking my hand at the Hamfest. Don't forget. I'm even calling you out on the video that I filmed for that. So shame on you for not coming over and shaking hands, man. Dallas Rife, always good to have you in here. David G, a fan who I've had a meal with at a Hamfest as well. Heath Whittle, who didn't come in tonight, I had a nice meal with him at the Hamfest, and so it's just awesome, man. It's so awesome. So awesome. Anyway, there you go. Next Radio Fest will be at Mower Junkie's house. He got enough equipment. Yeah, but he doesn't want to sell. In order to have a successful Hamfest, you got to eventually sell some of that stuff. You guys, it's been great. Have a good one. Thank you for the folks that donated some money to the channel. Always awesome, and I appreciate it. Everybody have a great evening, and well, I'll see you Wednesday, and again, I'll see you next weekend. Take care.